So we have some really old citrus trees in our backyard, in our house over in San Jose. And when I say old, these trees could, I don't know, they could be as much as 80 years old. But they're huge. They're huge. And when we first moved in, we had a great citrus pruner. And this person would come every year. They knew when to come. They knew what needed to happen. They knew what shape the trees needed to be. And they had been caring for these citrus trees for a number of years. And it just happened. It was beautiful. And that citrus pruner moved. And the interesting thing is, it's not easy to find a citrus pruner. It's not easy to find a citrus pruner. But they did one last wonderful pruning for us. And they looked beautiful. The trees were perfect. But the amazing thing is, do any of you have citrus trees? A couple of you. When you prune them, what happens?
We don't prune them.
Oh, you don't? That's good. That's one solution. What do you keep saying?
Put on more growth.
They put on more growth. They grow. They actually grow like crazy. They're pretty prolific. And the thing is, with our citrus trees, when you prune them, I don't know, they're probably like 12 feet, 15 feet tall. Once they start growing, you look at the door, before you believe it, they're like 25 feet tall. They're taller than our garage. It's pretty crazy. And we're thinking to ourselves, didn't we just prune them? And they're like, you know, the branches are bending because the fruit weighs them down, because you can't possibly pick anything that's that high up. They need to be pruned regularly. That's just the way with citrus. They need to be pruned regularly. There's nothing wrong with their trees. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, but still, the pruning will allow them to do it better. Pruning will allow them to do it better. So, these readings that we have today, sometimes you get a sense of, we know all this. We've done all this. I mean, whether you're looking at 1 John, or whether you're looking at the Gospel of John, which we are pretty sure come out of and were addressed to the same Christian community, you hear this same similar message, but in two slightly different metaphors. The 1 John's really straightforward. How do you know God? Well, you know Jesus. How do you know Jesus? You love your neighbor as yourself. And when you love your neighbor as yourself, guess what? You meet God. It's like this big old circle, right? Love is known in the act of loving. And Jesus uses this image of a vine and the whole process of growth, and then the bearing of fruit. And then the fruit, guess what, falls to the ground? That's its purpose, right? Fruit isn't there to just be fruit. It falls to the ground and it seeds new vine. It's like a big circle. So the context, especially of that gospel reading, is a group of disciples who are facing something changing. They're facing something changing because even though we've been reading all of the resurrection stories for a couple of weeks now, for the rest of Easter season, we've been jumped back to the Last Supper. And so we are reading about disciples who feel like, Jesus, we had this all figured out. We knew what to do. We left everything. We changed our lives. We are loving the world because we walk around it with you, and we preach and we heal, and we're right beside. We're in this with you, Jesus. We're doing it. And Jesus is saying, yeah, but I know that there's more life that can come from this than just what we're doing here and now. And that means we might have to do some new things. And I might have to be present in a new way. And they're not very happy about it. We don't get a sense of that here, but if you read the whole piece, they're kind of like, no, Jesus. There's this great line where Thomas says, how will we know the way? How will we know the way, Jesus? Because you know what? Pruning isn't always easy. Isn't always easy. I'm gonna switch plants. The 8 o'clockers helped me with this. There's some amazing gardeners at 8 o'clock. But does anyone here have rose bushes? A bunch of you. Okay. Then you know more than I. I have rose bushes. I don't prune them, but I was instructed in how to prune them originally when I first moved in my house by my amazing gardener, my Matthew's mother, my mother-in-law. And what she said to me was, if you're going to prune your roses, you need to look at the plant with fresh eyes each year and kind of get to see what did well last year, and then also really notice, like, what are the signs of the new growth that's going to come this year. And then as you prune, you want to make sure you're not imposing your idea of what it looked like last year or what you think it should be, but you're looking for what the plant needs to have cleared out. So you want to make sure you cut above the new growth, not below it, so you don't lose it, but also you make space for it to thrive. Make space for it to thrive. And you have to do it every year. Roses really do have to be pruned every year, for the most part, though I don't. But my roses look terrible because of it. They look terrible because of it. They're not as fruitful as they could be. So this is kind of an exciting Sunday for us here at St. Philip's because we're starting a whole new way of being vestry this year. I hope you've picked up on this, but your vestry this year is trying something new where every third meeting is going to be with the entire congregation. And we're going to think about some of the ways that we might be seeing potential and possibility for new growth, and we're going to figure out how that we can help those to thrive, along with all the other ways that we're already thriving. And your senior warden, Lisa, will take you through some of that when we have our community engagement conversation after church and with our lunch and our potluck, and I'm super excited for that. But what I want to do now is do a little bit of that gazing at the rose bush, because the great thing is if we want to seek the new growth and the new ways that we can engage in relationship with our community and build new connections, and share the best of who we are with the world in new ways, we need to understand what our gifts are there. So I have a thing, look, you can see we started it with the 8 o'clockers, but I'm going to let us have a fresh piece of paper. So we have a new Zoom system. So Stephen, if I put the board up there, will you be able to see it? Mm-hmm. Hooray! Oh, this is so exciting. So much more flexibility. Because then everybody here can see it too.
Can you move it a little bit to the... Oh, okay, there we go.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay, awesome. Let me grab my pen. That's green. Okay, so we're going to think about some of our assets in doing this work. And we're going to put them in some categories. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we, St. Philip's, know how to do. And if you're visiting us here today, just sit back and enjoy learning about us. We don't do this every week, but it's kind of fun to get to do it from time to time. We're going to think about some of our gifts of our heart, things that we feel, ways that we love. And then we're going to, I have to count every time. These are some of the things that we do, some of our gifts that we do. So head, heart, and hands. And then we have another little category down here, which is the other category. So I'm going to invite people just to share, and I want to make sure I catch the people. Actually, you're up there now. I catch the people in the online congregation too. But What are some of the things that you see in us that might be signs of new ways that we can grow, or new ways that we can share love and action, God's love, in our wider community? Anyone have anything that's our assets, our strengths?
Caring?
Caring. Thank you. I appreciate that. You say that because you're new-ish. You've been with us less than a year, right? Or around a year. And you know what? The 8 o'clockers took them all the way to the bottom of the pile to think of that. Thank you for putting that right at the top. Caring. I put it under heart. Go ahead, Maddie.
Welcoming.
Welcoming. Okay.
Like on all of our material everywhere is whoever you are, wherever you are in your journey of faith, you are welcome.
Okay. And I'm just curious, because would you say that's something that we know, something we feel, or something we do?
Something we do.
Okay.
I think it's all three.
It definitely is all three.
No,
But one of the great things about this exercise is that we get to choose.
Can you put it above your iPhone?
All the way across.
No, there's no room.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be problematic.
Okay, wherever you are. Annie.
Hospitable. You have really good at hospitality.
Hospitality. Okay, I'm going to put that as a thing we do.
Yeah.
Would we say that hospitality is it encompasses the like our shelter guests that we have, or is that a separate thing?
Well, we can specify. So we offer shelter.
Food.
We offer food at the pantry.
We offer space for group meetings.
We offer space. And since that's, I'm just gonna put that down here because it's not exactly a do, it's an is.
Mm-hmm.
So, as an other. But then I think what you're saying is that part of that, what comes with that is healing.
Yeah, space for all the groups that meet here.
Outreach.
Yep. Yeah.
Who said the word outreach?
I think I'm not on that,
Oh.
but on the subject of caring,
Uh-huh.
doesn't fellowship go along
Mm-hmm.
in the same? Is that a separate category, or is that?
No. What do you think? Where would you put that up here? Would you put that as a heart or something we do?
Heart.
Heart. Okay. Fellowship.
Fellowship is the feeling, and hospitality is the action that goes with it.
Oh, good. Thank you, Maddie. That's helpful. Okay. Valerie, you also said something.
Outreach.
Outreach. Okay. Define what you mean by that, because that's a word that can go in a couple directions. In this context, which way are you using it?
It was going from the space and meetings is part of renting out, making the space available for meetings for outside organizations is our outreach. It's part of what we do
Okay.
as a church, isn't it? So
Okay. So I'm going to put that we reach beyond ourselves to the community.
We also maintain our space for others,
Yeah.
not with our hands.
Yeah, that is a hands thing. And
Beverly's hands have done a lot of that.
we have. Okay. So that's, let's call that stewardship of our space.
We have someone on Zoom too.
Yes,
Okay,
Doreen would like
thank
to.
you. Doreen, is that? Go ahead, Doreen.
Yes. Inclusion, whether you're around the corner or 3,000 miles away,
Oh, yeah, okay.
you're all part of it.
All part of it. Okay,
Heart.
did you look at a head or a heart or
She's saying heart.
Heart, okay.
Heart,
So
to me, it's a heart.
include people I want to make it specific, because wherever you are could be spiritual state, but we're talking specifically from afar.
Wherever you are, right.
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Doreen. Vicki.
And prayers, so I'm sort of thinking the prayer, Sally's prayer chain, but
Yes.
I'm also thinking, you know, at the end of the service,
Yeah.
we have that anniversary birthday and pairs of strength. I've never seen that at another church done in the same way, and I think it's definitely I think we can do it because we're a relatively small community, but
Yes.
it really connects you. You really get to know where people are traveling, you get to know what worries people worry, you know, in a very real sense, more than just an anonymous. So I put that as a heart.
Okay.
Because I think that's a way of us caring for each other.
Pray for
Support.
people.
I mean, it's
In a
intercessory
specific
prayer, but
way.
it's not anonymous intercessory prayer.
Yeah.
It's very, it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Provides.
Say,
Provides.
provide, like we provide for people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like help, like for mechanic, car problems, or rent, and.
Okay, I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put support practical. Okay, Tim.
So for the head category, which is kind of empty over there,
It's all right, we filled that one up first at 8 o'clock, so that's fine. Go ahead.
so it just struck me that what we're doing now is the head things. We're thinking, it's kind of grown that we do this. What else can we be doing? So we're thinking about it. We're not just complacent.
Got it, thinking. Always.
Planning, that would be planning, right? The
Well,
planning.
I think that we're quite organized as a church. I think our administrative assistant does a great job. I mean, it's very, especially the programs and all the paperwork, I mean, it's just very organized.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
I agree, Jane's fantastic. Kelly,
I have an idea.
you have an idea. So, we will have 30 minutes for ideas at the meeting later, but if it relates to a thing we're good
I
at.
hope so. I'm
Tell
gonna
me,
ask
okay,
you-
tell me about it.
I'm just gonna go for it and you do what you want with it.
Okay.
It's an idea for some sort of a transportation ministry
Okay?
for people who want to come but don't have a way to come and a way to get home.
Okay, so transportation ministry,
That's something we can talk about.
we'll put that on the list of what we talk about later.
Yeah.
But I feel like what you're saying that goes here is that we think about what people need to be here. And I think, I'm gonna put a little word here that we're asking what are the barriers?
I was asking if you have such a thing as a transportation ministry.
Well, you get brought here all the time, right?
Not all the time,
But
most of the time.
and that's our transportation ministry, you're experiencing it.
But for other, I don't mean just for me, but for other people who don't drive or can't drive and want to come, but don't have a way.
Yeah, so, we'll put that on the list of things we talk about.
On the list.
On your, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Kelly. Maddie?
Something else in our head section might be adaptability, because this church has been through a lot, and we always seem to end up coming out landing on our feet.
I would agree. And I'm gonna be really super honest here, because I have operated in a couple of different churches. This is one of the most adaptable churches that I've ever been a part of, and I really, really appreciate that about
I think we
St.
could
Paul's.
also put that into space too, because the way our space is.
It's
that's
adaptable, yes.
Here and all the room, we have space for being adaptable.
Yes.
So-
Is the garden tour in the other category?
We don't
We used to, but
That's so,
Part of
Oh, the
fundraising.
fundraising.
so,
We use our gifts for fundraising, so.
Well, and so the garden tour is a couple of different things, because so we know how to build resources and to gather the community.
It's also PR.
Yeah. It's PR. But then here's the other thing that's really important. It's sharing a love of the creation.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I think it does a lot of different
I
things.
think a garden tour is just a thing that's always sort of there, and it comes forward sometimes, and it goes backwards sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it can flourish again the way it did.
It might, yeah. We'll see.
It's just sort of,
Yeah.
it's always in our background, it's always latent, it's always part of this, I think.
Yeah. Susan? Oh, sorry, Valerie, and then Susan. And then
Does
back to
that
him.
come together with the garden tour and the no room at the inn, that we are, and it's a combination of all three. We've used our heads to come up with ideas, that we put our love and feelings into creating awareness of our church, but also, bringing people into our church who otherwise wouldn't come, but we're also fundraising for others in the community at the same time. And I think this church is really good at doing that.
Okay, and I'm just gonna put,
But it covers everything.
I'm gonna put that down here only because it covers it, but I think, I was once taught this phrase, we make the orange juicy.
What? Is this the like metaphor of the person coming and squeezing the extra juice out of the orange?
Yeah, like, if you look at an orange, it could just be something you look at. You can chop it up and eat it. Or you can make it, like, there's, you want to.
When you make the most of the opportunities and availability that you have.
Yeah, exactly. Remind you. I want to make sure, did you get to speak, Susan?
No.
Okay, so it was Susan, then we were going to go that way. Thank you for keeping me on track here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I like what Callie said about what people need to get here, but I would take away the to get here. Because I think one of the other things that we do is we try to help people for what they need, period.
Where they are.
Period there. So for example, the transportation thing for sure, but also look at all the food we bring. If somebody is sick or somebody's had surgery or something, all of a sudden people are bringing food. Or if somebody's family is in need, all of a sudden we have the prayer circle. Or you get a phone call or whatever. So I mean, I think it's.
So that's caring and support.
Right, but I think it's specific that it's not just a ministry of one thing, is what people need.
Okay, so.
Helping hands.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which column to put it in.
I think it goes in heart and hands.
Okay, so meet needs. Okay. I feel like Annie was waiting and then I'll come to you. Okay, go ahead.
Music.
Music, all right. That's definitely something that we do, we love, and we know. So pick one. Which one do you want to put it under?
I think it goes into head because we plan it. We plan to have somebody here to do it. We plan to have extra music when there's something special happening.
Okay.
Intellectual exploration, because we've got book club and we've got Bible study and we've got the Lenten soup suppers in the spring, and just all of those opportunities to explore.
That was the first thing when I said that 8 o'clocker started with the head, that's where they started. Vicki, did you get to say your thing?
Yes, I did.
You did. Online congregation. Okay. I feel like we've got Nancy, you haven't gotten to say something.
The Altar Guild brings beauty.
Yes.
Beauty.
And art.
And art.
Let's put that under heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody who hasn't got to say something, that has something that needs to be here that's not here yet? This is not a closed exercise. We can keep adding. Okay, thank you. Just quickly, I want to star. If this was your rose bush, this is our rose bush, right? If this was our rose bush, and you were getting ready to do the spring prune, what are some of the most exciting places that you see sort of new life or new growth or something new that could be flowering that we want to make sure we make space for? Annie?
Outreach.
Okay. Let me see where that ended up.
Underhand.
Underhands.
In the middle.
Search of the space. Aha! Reach out beyond ourselves to the community. You got it. Any others?
I think growth is important.
Okay. Well, all of these are potentials for ways that we could grow. So, is there a particular one that is, you're like, we want to make sure we nurture that?
Whatever we called it, the helping hands or
Meeting people's needs?
meeting people's needs.
Yeah,
whatever
that's
it
under
was.
heart, like second from the bottom.
And so, is this something that, so here's the interesting thing about this. We're really good at this already and we do a lot of it. So do you see this as something that you want to nurture in new ways or something you will make sure that we don't stop nurturing?
Yes.
All right, cool. We got it. Thank you. That's helpful. Anything else? All right, continue.
Oh, I have one.
Oh.
I like the idea that we're opening up our space for for music and things for for people to come in and use the space for concerts and things.
Yeah, we're doing that this coming week, twice.
Yeah, twice this week.
Yeah, Thursday and Saturday. Lots of great music.
Us as a piano recital on Sunday.
Oh my goodness, yes. Wow. Okay, you can have a whole weekend of music here at St. Philip's. All right. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to do this. I will make sure that this and the 8 o'clocker one are posted so you can look through it. You can add more stuff to once, and this is our rose bush. And then at our community potluck, we will get a chance to start thinking about some of the, what do we want to prune to make space for, and how do we do that? So, thank you, everyone. Amen.